Nick speaking, and welcome to this video. Right, continuing on with the Tyranid Learning Curve, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the Swarmlord. Now, the last video was all about the Hive Tyrant with wings and on foot, which is sort of interlinked with this video, along with the next video that's going to be coming up on the Tyrant Guard. Yeah, watch out for those other videos. I said they're sort of all interlinking. Now, as you can see in front of you, I don't actually own the Swarmlord model. This is the winged Hive Tyrant that you saw in the last video, which I converted into the foot Tyrant, which I've now converted into my Swarmlord. So yeah, that's my little model there. The Swarmlord is a special character, so he has his own fixed stats, no upgrades and stuff on there, so let's have a look at them. Pretty expensive unit, 285 points, wow. I think it went up about 5 points from the previous codex, but yeah, pretty expensive, but pretty impressive stats. So let's have a look at the stats. So we're looking at weapon skill 9, ballistic skill 4, strength and toughness 6, 5 wounds, initiative 6, 4 attacks, leadership 10, a 3+ save, and a 4+ invulnerable save, just in close combat only. Now, so stat-wise, I mean, basically the Swarmlord is a beefed up Hive Tyrant on foot. So obviously there's no wings available for the Swarmlord, but he's effectively a Hive Tyrant. So the main difference on the stats there would be he's got extra 1 weapon skill, he's got an extra wound, he's got an extra 1 on his initiative, and he has that 4+ invulnerable save in close combat. So a little bit of extra stats there. Obviously he's got a few bits and pieces of war gear, which we're going to have a look at next. So he comes as standard with 2 sets of bone sabers. So that uses his the model strength, so it's going to be strength 6, AP 2, so it's got monstrous creature stats, but instant death, so all attacks are instant death, which is pretty useful. Of course, it counts as 2 sets of weapons, so he will get an extra attack for 2 weapons, so he'll have 5 attacks, potentially 6 attacks on the charge. Synapse creature, but he's got extended synapse, so over the normal Tyrant, he's an extra 6 inches, so it's 18 inches extra range. He has Shadow of the Warp, just like the all the other Synapse creatures, and he's a Psyker with a mastery level of 3. So he's got 1 extra power to the Tyrant. So that gives him some good psychic ability. 3 psychic powers plus the Primaris power on the Hive powers from the Hive Mind. And there's pretty good powers on there. You know, it's fair to say they're not quite as good as what we were using with the Biomancy powers, but there's a good selection of powers in there. Now he also has as standard Alien Cunning, which gives him a +1 to reserves roll. Well, that's while he's alive, and that you must add +1, you can't pick and choose. So it's really useful for helping to get the reserves out. And he's also a swarm leader, so at the beginning of your turn, any units within 18 inches, a friendly unit, you can choose one of the following. You can either choose to give them Preferred Enemy, Furious Charge, or Monster Hunter. And those are pretty good, 3 pretty good special rules, and combine that with some of the psychic powers which are available. And the Swarmlord makes a fantastic support unit for your army, whilst also being pretty decent in close combat. So all in all, very nice indeed. As I said, 285 points as base. He's 120 points more expensive than the Hive Tyrant, but he's got those extra stats, plus he's got the extra synapse range, he's got the extra psychic power, he gives you a +1 to reserves rolls, and he has that swarm leader ability. So I think all in all, taking all of those stats into account, he is worth the extra 120 points. But he still suffers with exactly the same problem that the Hive Tyrant does, in that you will be walking him across the table. He only has the 5 wounds. I say only 5 wounds. Yes, he's got 1 more wound. No ability to take regeneration though, unlike the normal Hive Tyrant. And a 3+ save. So he's still very, very vulnerable to your opponent's basically anti-tank weapons, so those missile launchers and those las cannons coming in. And that's where we're going to have to start looking at the Tyrant Guard, which we're going to be looking at in the next video. So of course you can take the Tyrant Guards with this guy. That really does increase the points considerably, but it does make him very survivable if you're going to be walking him across the table. And Swarmlord with the Tyrant Guard can almost become a Death Star unit, I suppose. You know, he's got to be dealt with because he's pretty much going to kill most things in close combat fairly comprehensively. Now, there is one other option, and again, new to us, the Tyrannocyte. A Swarmlord in a Tyrannocyte, so you can deep strike him in with the pod. I have tried it. I'm not a huge fan. You know, with the pod, another 75 points on top of it, and yes, it will get you into the back ranks of your enemy, but he still suffers with the same problem. Unless you can put him down in a nice safe position, he could potentially be susceptible to going down before he makes it into close combat, but he certainly will give your enemy something to think about. I know other uses that I've seen. I haven't used it myself, but keeping Swarmlord as a more of a defensive role, I suppose arguably that's going to be for bigger games, but just making use of that preferred enemy on some of the bigger Bio-Titan type units. You know, keep them at the back and make sure that those big guns fire. Use that Monster Hunter ability. You know, that's pretty decent as well. Another certainly option for him, but that's a big points sink, you know, to do that. So you've got to be playing big games to be able to do that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we're going to continue on this little mini series within the series. We're going to have a look at the Tyrant Guard and see what they're all about. Thanks for watching.